Hi everyone. So followed by the aldol condensation from the unit 12, we are going to look into the mechanism involved in the Cannizaro reaction. See, in aldol condensation we have gone through what type of an aldehyde that could possibly undergo the aldol condensation, and we have come with the conclusion that the aldehyde which has an alpha hydrogen will undergo the aldol condensation reaction mechanism. Okay. So we have also sorted out that formaldehyde will not undergo this aldol condensation. Instead, acetaldehyde will definitely undergo aldol condensation to form a aldol. The aldol that has been formed is quite unstable, so it loses water molecules so easily and forms a crotonaldehyde. So this is what we have seen in the last class. So in this class, the mechanism involved in the Cannizaro reaction. See, Cannizaro reaction involves the benzaldehyde. Okay. If you look at the structure of this benzaldehyde doesn't have any alpha hydrogen here, because the hydrogen which is present in this position is being replaced by CHO. So there is no alpha hydrogen. So we can conclude that the aldehyde which does not have the alpha hydrogen will definitely undergo the Cannizaro reaction mechanism. So it's better to choose this benzaldehyde as a reactant. Okay. And secondly, this Cannizaro reaction is an example of a disproportionation reaction. When I say disproportionation reaction, the same compound which is benzaldehyde will undergo oxidation followed by reduction. That is why it is called as a disproportionation reaction, which means the same compound undergoes both oxidation as well as reduction. If benzaldehyde is oxidized, we will be getting a benzoic acid. If the same benzaldehyde is being reduced, we will be getting a benzyl alcohol. And the other thing we need to do regarding this Cannizaro reaction is, the reaction takes place in the presence of concentrated aqueous or alcoholic alkali. So probably I would take 50% of NaOH. This will be more convenient for me to perform this Cannizaro reaction, so that we will be getting the oxidized product as well as the reduced product. Okay, so this is the overall content regarding this Cannizaro reaction mechanism. So to summarize this introductory part, I would say any aldehyde which do not have this alpha hydrogen will definitely undergo this Cannizaro reaction mechanism. Cannizaro reaction is an example of a disproportionation reaction. When I say disproportionation reaction, the same compound will definitely undergo both oxidation as well as reduction. The reactant which I took here is a benzaldehyde. So if benzaldehyde is oxidized, we will be getting a benzoic acid and we will be getting this benzyl alcohol. The whole reaction takes place in the presence of a concentrated alkali, which is an aqueous or in form of an alkali, alcoholic form. So it is better to choose the 50% NaOH. We will look into the reaction mechanism now. Before getting into the reaction mechanism, if the mechanism is asked in a 5-mark question, 2 marks will be allocated to write the general reaction. Then the rest of the 3 marks will be allocated to write the mechanisms. First, to begin with the general reaction, the same benzaldehyde, 2 molecules of this benzaldehyde will react with each other, the presence of 50% NaOH. So a product is benzoic acid or sodium salt of a benzoate, then you will be getting a benzyl alcohol. This reaction mechanism has to be very specified by writing the general reaction. If you write this general reaction by mentioning the name of the reactant or the product, sure you will be getting 2 marks. Then rest of the 3 marks will be added for the reaction mechanism. So the reaction mechanism goes in different steps. Very first steps. The mechanism, the step 1. Okay. The step 1 is attack of OH. Attack of OH minus hydroxyl ion. See, C6H5, C double bond OH. This is the benzaldehyde. When a base approaches this benzaldehyde, we know that the reaction takes place as a nucleophilic attack. Carbon will get a partial positive charge, oxygen will get a partial negative charge because oxygen is more electronegative than carbon. So oxygen will take the electron of the carbon, thereby oxygen will get a partial negative charge, carbon will get a partial positive charge. So OH minus will go and approach this carbon. Since it forms a bond with the carbon, the valency of the carbon becomes 5. Obviously this bond will shift and exist as a negative charge over the minus. So C6H5, C, OH, then O minus, then H. So this is the very first step. The second step involved the transfer of an hydrogen. So step 2 involves transfer of hydrogen. So this step includes the second molecule of the benzaldehyde. So C6H5, C, OH, O minus, then H. This is the very first product that first intermediate that we have got in the very first step. Then the second one includes C6H5, C double bond O, H. So what happens here? This bond will shift here, thereby carbon between carbon and oxygen there forms a double bond. So valency of the carbon becomes 5. So hydrogen will take up the electron of the carbon, thereby it goes as H minus. So your product is C6H5, C double bond O, OH. So C6H5, C double bond O, OH. Then other one we have got is C6H5, C, H comes here, H comes here. So valency becomes 5, this bond will shift and exist as an O minus. So this is the very second step. Then the third step includes transfer of an hydrogen ion. So step 3 involves hydrogen ion transfer. So the same I'll write C6H5, C double bond O, OH, then C6H5, C, H, H, O minus. So the hydrogen which is present here will be transferred to this compound. So thereby you will be getting a benzyl alcohol as a proper product. If we have a sodium, we will be getting a sodium benzoate, or it is better to enclose with the benzoate ion. C6H5, C double bond O, O minus. Then C6H5, CH2, OH. So benzyl alcohol and benzoate ion. So it can form a benzoic acid or it can form a sodium benzoate. So these are all the 3 steps which involves in the Cannizaro reaction mechanism. The very first step actually includes general reaction. The very first step includes the attack of OH. So when the OH attacks, we will be getting this product. Then the second step includes the transfer of an hydrogen ion. When hydrogen ion transfers, we will be getting benzoic acid as a product. Then the third step includes the transfer of an hydrogen ion. So their main product we are getting it as benzyl alcohol and benzoic acid. So here into the mechanism 2. So followed by the aldol condensation, we have gone through the Cannizaro reaction mechanism. In the next video, we are going to look into the mechanism involved in the esterification. See you all in the next session. Thank you.